Life is a profound dance of opposites, where every experience and emotion exists in relation to its counterpart. From the rising sun that heralds the day to the moon that casts its gentle glow by night, our existence is defined by these dualities. In our pursuit of happiness, we often find ourselves ensnared in a perpetual cycle of seeking pleasure while avoiding pain, grasping for joy while shunning sorrow. But what if I told you that the essence of genuine happiness lies not in the pursuit of one side of the coin, but in the harmonious acceptance of both? We encounter a profound insight through the concept of yin and yang. Picture, if you will, a mountain bathed in sunlight, its south face gleaming in brightness yang, while the north side rests in the cool shade yin. These contrasting aspects, though seemingly opposed, are integral parts of the same mountain. Just as you cannot have the front without the back, or the top without the bottom, life's experiences, whether they bring elation or melancholy, are interwoven threads of the same fabric. The challenge lies not in eliminating one aspect in favor of the other, but in embracing their inseparable nature. When we view happiness not as the absence of sadness, but as the acceptance of its presence, a profound shift occurs within us. We no longer resist the natural ebb and flow of life's experiences, but instead embrace them as essential components of our journey. In Taoism, the concept of yin and yang offers a profound perspective on the nature of existence and the pursuit of genuine happiness. Imagine, if you will, a serene landscape where a mountain basks in sunlight. The southern face of the mountain glows brightly under the warmth of the sun yang, while its northern slope rests in the cool shade yin. These contrasting aspects, though seemingly opposed, are not in conflict but are complementary parts of the same mountain. Yin represents the passive, receptive, and feminine aspects of nature: darkness, coolness, stillness, while yang embodies the active, assertive, and masculine qualities: brightness, warmth, movement. Together, they form a harmonious union, illustrating that opposites are not merely opposing forces, but integral parts of a unified whole. The essence of yin and yang lies in their interdependence and perpetual transformation. Just as day turns into night and back into day, life is a continuous dance of these complementary forces. In our quest for happiness, Taoist philosophy teaches us to embrace both sides of the spectrum, the highs and lows, joys and sorrows, essential aspects of our human experience. Imagine the flow of a river, where gentle currents navigate around obstacles and eventually merge into the vast ocean. Similarly, when we flow with the rhythms of life, accepting its ebbs and flows, we find ourselves in harmony with the Tao, the natural way of things. In our modern society, there's often a tendency to label experiences as either positive or negative, desirable or undesirable. Taoist wisdom invites us to transcend these dichotomies and see life as a seamless tapestry where every thread contributes to the whole. When we release our attachment to rigid distinctions and embrace the fluidity of existence, we open ourselves to a deeper understanding of happiness. The challenge lies in shifting our perception from a dualistic view of life to one that embraces unity and diversity. Each experience, whether perceived as good or bad, offers us valuable lessons and opportunities for growth. Consider the seasons a cycle, where spring brings forth new life, summer flourishes in abundance, autumn harvests its rewards, and winter offers a period of introspection and rest. Each season is indispensable to the vitality of the whole, just as every aspect of our lives contributes to our personal evolution. In our modern world, characterized by individualism and materialism, it's easy to perceive ourselves as separate entities navigating life independently. We identify with our individual experiences, achievements, and identities, often overlooking the deeper truth of our interconnectedness with all life forms and the cosmos itself. Each thread represents a living being, pulsating with its unique energy and consciousness. Every movement, every thought, every emotion resonates through this cosmic web, affecting the whole in ways both seen and unseen. This interconnected web is the essence of the Tao, the underlying unity that permeates all of existence. The concept of Wu Wei, a principle of effortless action, offers profound insight into our relationship with the world. It does not imply inaction or passivity, but rather aligning ourselves with the natural flow of life, trusting in its unfolding without force or resistance. When we resist the interconnectedness of life, we create friction and disharmony within ourselves and with the world around us. Consider the analogy of a river flowing towards the ocean. The river does not struggle against the rocks in its path. Instead, it flows around them, effortlessly finding its way forward. When we embrace our interconnected nature and flow with the currents of life, we experience a sense of ease and alignment with the Tao. The illusion of separation breeds feelings of loneliness, isolation, and disconnection from others in the world. It fosters a sense of us versus them, leading to conflict, competition, and division. When we transcend this illusion and recognize the inherent interconnectedness of all beings, we cultivate compassion, empathy, and a deep sense of belonging. Imagine a world where every action is guided by the understanding that we are all interconnected, one organism, one consciousness expressing itself in myriad forms. Our thoughts, words, and actions ripple through this interconnected web, influencing the collective consciousness and shaping our shared reality. In embracing interconnectedness, we awaken to the realization that genuine happiness is not found in the pursuit of individual desires or achievements, but in nurturing harmonious relationships and contributing to the well-being of the whole. It is about recognizing that our personal happiness is intricately linked to the happiness and well-being of others. In our journey so far, we've uncovered the interplay of yin and yang, explored the illusion of separation, and embraced our interconnectedness with all of existence. Now, let us delve into practical applications of Taoist principles that can illuminate our path to genuine happiness in our daily lives. At the heart of Taoist practice is the cultivation of mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in the current moment without judgment or attachment. Mindfulness allows us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and sensations with clarity and equanimity. By cultivating mindfulness, we develop a deep awareness of our interconnectedness with the world around us, fostering a sense of peace and harmony within ourselves. Imagine sitting by a tranquil lake where the ripples on the surface reflect the stillness within. Similarly, when we cultivate mindfulness, we become like the calm surface of the lake, reflecting the beauty and serenity of our inner being. Through mindfulness, we can transcend the fluctuations of the mind and anchor ourselves in the timeless flow of the Tao. Compassion is a cornerstone of Taoist ethics, rooted in the understanding that all beings are interconnected and deserving of kindness and understanding. When we practice compassion, we extend heartfelt empathy towards ourselves and others, recognizing the shared humanity that unites us all. Imagine extending a helping hand to someone in need, knowing that their well-being is intertwined with your own. Through acts of kindness and compassion, we create ripple effects of positivity and healing that resonate throughout the interconnected web of life. Gratitude is a powerful practice that opens our hearts to the abundance and beauty that surrounds us. By cultivating gratitude, we shift our focus from scarcity and lack to appreciation and abundance. Taoist teachings remind us that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in the richness of our experiences and connections. Imagine waking up each morning with a heart filled with gratitude for the gift of life itself. By embracing gratitude, we cultivate a sense of contentment and fulfillment, knowing that we have everything we need in this present moment. Wu Wei, often translated as effortless action, invites us to align ourselves with the natural flow of life. It is not about passive inaction, but about acting in harmony with the Tao effortlessly and spontaneously responding to the needs of the moment without force or resistance. Imagine a dancer gracefully moving to the rhythm of music, effortlessly expressing the beauty and fluidity of the Tao. By practicing Wu Wei, we learn to trust in the wisdom of the Tao and surrender our attachment to outcomes, allowing life to unfold with grace and ease. In our modern world, we are conditioned to believe that happiness resides in external achievements, possessions, or relationships. We tirelessly chase after these ephemeral pleasures, hoping they will fill the void within us. We believe that if only we acquire more wealth, more success, or more recognition, then happiness will surely follow. This pursuit creates a perpetual cycle of desire and discontent, where our happiness is forever postponed to a future that never quite arrives. Reflect for a moment on the nature of desire itself. When we grasp for happiness externally, we are often seeking validation or fulfillment from sources that are inherently impermanent. This external search reflects a misunderstanding of where true happiness resides within ourselves in the present moment. Trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. The more we chase after external validations of happiness, the more it slips away, leaving us perpetually unsatisfied. This chase creates a cycle of desire and discontent, where our happiness is forever postponed to a future that never arrives. When we grasp for happiness externally, we are often seeking validation or fulfillment from sources that are inherently impermanent. This external search reflects a misunderstanding of where true happiness resides within ourselves in the present moment. The heart of genuine happiness, where the present moment becomes our gateway to profound understanding and fulfillment. In our modern lives, we are often consumed by thoughts of the past or future, rarely fully inhabiting the richness of the present moment. Yet, as I often remind, the present moment is where life truly unfolds. Consider for a moment the nature of time. Time, as we perceive it, is a constructed mental framework that shapes our experience of reality. Past and future exist only in our minds. They are stories we tell ourselves. True happiness, however, resides not in the past or future, but in the eternal now. When we learn to fully embrace the present moment, we step into a realm of profound awareness and authenticity. Here we discover that happiness is not something to be attained, but a state of being that arises naturally when we align ourselves with the flow of life. This alignment requires us to release the constant striving and grasping that characterizes our pursuit of happiness. This wisdom highlights the impermanence of all things in life and encourages us to embrace change rather than resist it. When we release our attachments to fixed outcomes and expectations, we open ourselves to the spontaneous joy that arises in every moment. Presence is not merely a state of mind, but a way of being, an embodied awareness that transcends the limitations of thought. When we are fully present, we engage with life from a place of clarity and authenticity. This presence allows us to experience the richness of each moment fully, without the distortion of past regrets or future anxieties. Consider for a moment the nature of desire itself. Desire, a natural aspect of human experience. It is our longing for fulfillment and meaning in life. When desire becomes the sole focus of our existence, we lose touch with the deeper currents of joy that flow beneath the surface of our desires. To truly embrace the present moment is to recognize the interconnectedness of all things. In the words of the ancient Taoists, the way to do is to be when we cultivate a state of beingness in our lives, we align ourselves with the natural rhythms of existence. This alignment allows us to experience happiness not as a distant goal, but as an intrinsic quality of our being. The profound wisdom of embracing impermanence as a pathway to genuine happiness. In our journey through life, we often cling to the illusion of permanence, seeking stability and security in an ever-changing world. Yet, as I often teach, true peace and happiness arise when we embrace the inherent impermanence of all things. Consider the natural cycles of existence, the rising and setting of the sun, the changing seasons, the ebb and flow of tides. These rhythms of nature reflect the fundamental truth of impermanence. Just as night follows day and winter gives way to spring, so too do our experiences in life evolve and transform. The key to finding peace beyond change lies in our ability to cultivate a deep acceptance of impermanence. This acceptance does not imply resignation or indifference, but rather a profound wisdom that allows us to navigate life's transitions with grace and equanimity. When we resist the natural flow of change, we create suffering for ourselves. Attachment to outcomes, possessions, or identities binds us to a false sense of security. However, when we embrace impermanence, we liberate ourselves from these chains of attachment and open ourselves to the beauty of life's unfolding. Particularly in Zen Buddhism, impermanence is considered one of the three marks of existence, alongside suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. Understanding impermanence allows us to transcend the illusion of separateness and recognize our interconnectedness with all beings. Reflect for a moment on the impermanence of the self. Who we are today is not who we were yesterday, nor who we will be tomorrow. The self, like everything else in the universe, is in a constant state of flux. When we cling to a fixed identity or egoic structure, we deny ourselves the freedom to evolve and grow. To embrace impermanence is to embrace the inherent creativity of life. Change is not something to be feared, but celebrated as the catalyst for growth and transformation. Just as a seed must break open to sprout new life, so too must we embrace the discomfort of uncertainty to discover our true potential. In our pursuit of genuine happiness, let us release the need for control and surrender to the natural flow of existence. Trusting in the wisdom of impermanence allows us to live more fully in each moment, appreciating the beauty of life's fleeting experiences. The illusion of separation and the journey towards rediscovering unity and wholeness. Throughout human history, we have often perceived ourselves as separate individuals existing in isolation from one another and the world around us. This perception of separateness, rooted in egoic consciousness, has contributed to much of the suffering and discord we witness in our lives and societies. Particularly in Advaita Vedanta and Zen Buddhism, we are reminded of the interconnected nature of all existence. The concept of anatta or non-self challenges the illusion of a fixed, separate identity. Instead, it invites us to recognize that our sense of self is fluid and interdependent with the entirety of the cosmos. Consider for a moment the metaphor of waves in the ocean. Each wave appears distinct and separate from its surroundings, yet fundamentally, it is inseparable from the ocean itself. In the same way, we as individuals arise from the vast ocean of consciousness, interconnected with every other wave and the ocean itself. When we perceive ourselves as separate beings, we create boundaries and divisions that perpetuate feelings of alienation and loneliness. These boundaries manifest not only between individuals, but also between humanity and nature, leading to environmental degradation and ecological imbalance. The journey towards genuine happiness begins with transcending this illusion of separation. It involves recognizing that beneath the surface of our individual identities lies a deeper unity that connects us all. This unity is not merely a philosophical concept, but a lived experience that arises from cultivating awareness and compassion. In the words of Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh, we are here to awaken from the illusion of our separateness. Awakening to our interconnected nature requires a shift in consciousness, a movement away from egoic thinking towards a recognition of our shared humanity and the interdependence of all life. Mindfulness allows us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without judgment, thereby loosening the grip of egoic identification. Through compassionate action, we extend kindness and empathy, not only to others but also to ourselves, recognizing our shared vulnerability and capacity for love. The recognition of unity invites us to embrace diversity with openness and respect. Just as a garden thrives with a variety of flowers, so too does humanity flourish when we honor the richness of our cultural, ethnic, and ideological differences. Unity does not require conformity, but rather celebrates the tapestry of perspectives and experiences that contribute to our collective evolution. In our relentless pursuit of happiness, we often turn to memories as anchors of our joy. We collect photographs, mementos, and keepsakes, believing they encapsulate the essence of our happiest moments. Yet, as I often discuss, these artifacts are mere shadows cast by the past, illusions that distract us from the vividness of the present. When we cling to memories, we attempt to hold on to moments that have already slipped away. It's akin to trying to capture the wind in a net or hold water in our hands. We cherish these snapshots, whether they depict a cherished picnic or a beloved keepsake, believing they define our happiness. In reality, they are fleeting echoes in the grand symphony of existence. The allure of photographs and memories lies in their ability to evoke emotions from times gone by. They serve as portals to moments of laughter, love, and connection. But they are not the moments themselves, they are representations, reflections caught in the rearview mirror of our minds. They can evoke nostalgia, yes, but they can also tether us to a version of reality that no longer exists. True happiness, my dear friends, resides in the eternal now. It is not something to be pursued or attained in the future, nor is it something to be retrieved from the past. Happiness unfolds naturally when we immerse ourselves fully in the present moment, embracing life as it unfolds without resistance or attachment. In our modern world, we often find ourselves caught in a relentless pursuit of happiness through external achievements and possessions. We believe that acquiring more, achieving more, or becoming someone else will finally grant us the happiness we seek. Yet, this pursuit often leads to a perpetual state of discontentment, as the goalposts of happiness continually shift further away. Genuine happiness is not dependent on external circumstances, but is an inner state of being. It is the recognition that the present moment is all there truly is, a timeless, ever-present reality, where past and future converge into the eternal now. Living in the now does not mean ignoring responsibilities or neglecting future plans. Rather, it is about approaching life with a deep sense of presence and mindfulness. It is about fully engaging with each moment, whether mundane or extraordinary, with a sense of curiosity and openness. When we are fully present, we are able to appreciate the richness of life's experiences without being consumed by regrets of the past or anxieties about the future. We learn to savor the simple pleasures of a warm breeze, a heartfelt conversation, the taste of food as gifts of the present moment. Mindfulness, in essence, is the practice of cultivating this awareness and presence in our daily lives. It is about paying attention to our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment or attachment. Through mindfulness meditation and contemplative practices, we train ourselves to become more attuned to the present moment and less entangled in the distractions of the mind. Life, my dear friends, is a delicate dance of attachment and detachment. From the moment we are born, we form attachments to our caregivers, our possessions, our identities. These attachments give us a sense of security and belonging in the world. Yet, they also bind us to the transient and impermanent aspects of existence. We attach ourselves to people, ideas, and possessions because they bring us comfort, pleasure, and a sense of identity. However, the paradox of attachment lies in its potential to create suffering. When we become overly attached, we cling desperately to these external sources of happiness, fearing their loss or change. Detachment, on the other hand, is often misunderstood. It does not imply indifference or emotional withdrawal. Instead, it is a state of inner freedom and ability to appreciate and enjoy life without being enslaved by desires or attachments. Detachment allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with equanimity and grace. The wisdom of detachment lies in recognizing the impermanent nature of all things. Nothing in this world remains static or unchanged. Relationships evolve, possessions come and go, and identities shift over time. When we cling rigidly to these ephemeral aspects of life, we inevitably experience disappointment and suffering when they inevitably change. True detachment is not about renouncing life's pleasures or withdrawing from meaningful connections. It is about cultivating a sense of inner spaciousness and openness, where we can embrace life fully while letting go of expectations and demands. It is the ability to hold things lightly, appreciating their beauty and significance without depending on them for our happiness. In the tapestry of existence, my dear friends, samsara and nirvana are intertwined threads, weaving together the fabric of our lived experience. Samsara represents the cyclical nature of life: birth, growth, decay, and death. It encompasses the joys and sorrows, the triumphs and tribulations that characterize human existence. Nirvana, on the other hand, is often perceived as the ultimate state of liberation and transcendence, a state beyond suffering and the cycle of rebirth. In traditional teachings, samsara is often viewed as a realm of suffering and impermanence, where beings are trapped in the cycle of birth and death, driven by desires and attachments. Yet, from a deeper perspective, samsara is not separate from nirvana. It is the very ground upon which enlightenment unfolds, a playground for spiritual growth and awakening. Nirvana, in its essence, is not a distant realm or a future destination to be attained through striving or effort. It is the inherent nature of reality, revealed through the clear perception of things as they are. It is the recognition that the present moment is imbued with infinite possibilities and boundless potential. The unity of samsara and nirvana invites us to embrace life in its entirety, to see beyond the dualities of pleasure and pain, success and failure, joy and sorrow. It calls us to transcend the limitations of egoic perception and recognize the interconnectedness of all phenomena. When we understand the unity of samsara and nirvana, we realize that every moment, every experience is an opportunity for awakening. Even in the midst of challenges and difficulties, there is the potential for growth and transformation. Suffering itself becomes a catalyst for spiritual evolution, inviting us to look deeply into the nature of our own minds and hearts. The path to genuine happiness lies not in escaping from samsara, but in embracing it fully with all its imperfections and uncertainties. It is about cultivating a deep sense of acceptance and equanimity, knowing that life unfolds according to its own rhythm and intelligence. Memory plays a curious role that both enriches our experience and entangles us in illusions of the past. Memory, in its essence, is a powerful faculty of the human mind. It allows us to recall past events, learn from our experiences, and navigate the complexities of life. However, the teachings I share invite us to examine the nature of memory and its relationship to genuine happiness. It helps us remember our name, our address, and important details of our lives, Yet, beyond these practical functions, memory often becomes a source of attachment and suffering. We cling to memories of pleasant experiences, longing to recreate them, and we recoil from memories of pain and sorrow, seeking to avoid similar situations in the future. The illusion of memory lies in its ability to create a sense of continuity and narrative of our lives that we hold on to tightly. We identify ourselves through past experiences, defining who we are based on memories of achievements, failures, and relationships. This identification with memory perpetuates a sense of separation from the present moment, trapping us in the cycle of longing for the past or fearing the future. Genuine happiness is found in the eternal now, the timeless realm where past and future converge into a single moment of awareness. The eternal now invites us to release our grip on memories and embrace the freshness and spontaneity of each moment. It is the realization that life unfolds spontaneously, without the need for constant reference to the past or projection into the future. Mindfulness practice offers a pathway to transcend the illusion of memory and dwell more fully in the eternal now. By cultivating present moment awareness, we learn to observe thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they arise without becoming entangled in them. Through mindfulness meditation and contemplative practices, we train ourselves to let go of the grip of memory and awaken to the vividness of direct experience. The teachings of samsara and nirvana remind us that memory, like all phenomena, is impermanent and ever-changing. The past exists only as a mental construct, a series of images, thoughts, and emotions that arise and fade away in the spaciousness of consciousness. When we recognize the illusory nature of memory, we liberate ourselves from the burden of carrying past regrets or anxieties about the future. In our relentless pursuit of happiness, we often stumble upon the illusion of opposites, life and death, good and bad, pleasure and pain. These apparent dualities shape much of our perception and experience. Yet, as we delve deeper into these concepts, we begin to see that they are not truly separate but interconnected facets of existence. We are taught to fear death as the ultimate end, a stark contrast to the vibrancy of life. From the perspective of the Tao, life and death are part of a seamless continuum, each giving meaning to the other. Without death, life would lose its poignancy and urgency. Without life, death would have no context. They are not opposing forces but complementary parts of the cosmic dance. Our notions of good and bad are often shaped by cultural conditioning and personal beliefs. We strive for the good, seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. Yet, what if these definitions were merely constructs of the mind? What if good and bad were not absolute truths, but subjective judgments that limit our understanding of the full spectrum of human experience? The Taoist philosophy invites us to transcend these dualistic frameworks and see beyond the surface of opposites. It teaches us to embrace the unity of existence, where all things flow and intermingle in an intricate web of life. In doing so, we come to realize that every experience, whether joyful or sorrowful, serves a purpose in our journey towards genuine happiness. Imagine a world where pleasure does not exist without pain, where light cannot be appreciated without the contrast of darkness. This is the world as seen through the eyes of the Tao of the world, where opposites are not adversaries but dance partners in the grand symphony of existence. In our quest for happiness, we often resist change, clinging to familiarity and stability. Yet, the Tao teaches us that change is not something to be feared but embraced as an essential aspect of life. Just as the seasons turn and the river flows, so too does life unfold in a continuous dance of transformation. Imagine yourself on a sailboat, navigating the open sea. The wind blows in unpredictable directions, sometimes gentle and steady, other times fierce and challenging. How do you respond? Do you fight against the wind, exhausting yourself with futile resistance? or do you adjust your sails, harnessing the wind's energy to propel you forward? The art of sailing teaches us a valuable lesson in Wu Wei, the principle of effortless action. Instead of struggling against the currents of life, we can learn to flow with them, adapting to changing circumstances with grace and flexibility. This does not mean passively accepting whatever comes our way, but rather responding intuitively and skillfully, like a master sailor adjusting their course to navigate challenging waters. When we resist change, we create unnecessary tension and suffering in our lives. We cling to the illusion of control, fearing the unknown and resisting the natural flow of events. The more we resist, the more we struggle against the inevitable currents of life, exhausting ourselves in a futile attempt to hold on to the past or control the future. The Taoist philosophy invites us to surrender our need for control and embrace the spontaneity of life. Like a river flowing effortlessly towards the sea, we can trust in the natural course of events and allow life to unfold in its own time and rhythm. This does not mean becoming passive or indifferent, but rather cultivating a deep sense of trust and intuition that guides us in every moment. Consider the wisdom of the Tao Te Ching, which reminds us the Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done in the same way. We can learn to act without striving, to achieve without effort, and to embrace change without fear. This is the essence of Wu Wei, the art of living in harmony with the natural flow of existence. In our journey towards genuine happiness, one of the most profound teachings of the Tao is the art of letting go. This concept challenges our deeply ingrained need for control and security, inviting us to release our grip on the illusion of permanence and embrace the impermanence of life. Imagine holding onto a handful of sand. The tighter you grasp it, the more it slips through your fingers. When we cling tightly to our desires, expectations, and fears, we create inner tension and resistance that stifles our ability to fully experience life. We become trapped in a cycle of striving and grasping, seeking happiness in external achievements or possessions, only to find that true fulfillment eludes us. The Taoist philosophy teaches us that genuine happiness arises when we let go of our attachments and surrender to the flow of life. This does not mean relinquishing responsibility or becoming passive, but rather cultivating a state of openness and receptivity to whatever life brings. It is in letting go of the need to control outcomes that we free ourselves from inner turmoil and come alive to the present moment. Think of a tree swaying in the wind. The tree does not resist the wind but bends with it, remaining rooted and resilient. In the same way, when we let go of our resistance to life's challenges and uncertainties, we discover an inner strength and resilience that allows us to navigate difficult situations with grace and ease. Letting go is also about releasing the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we need to be happy. We often define ourselves by our past experiences, achievements, or relationships, clinging to identities that no longer serve us. However, when we release these attachments and embrace the present moment with curiosity and openness, we create space for new possibilities to unfold. Consider the wisdom of the Tao Te Ching, which reminds us when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be letting go, is not a passive act, but an active process of transformation and self-discovery. It requires courage to face our fears and insecurities, and humility to surrender our need for control. By letting go, we liberate ourselves from the burden of expectations that allow life to unfold in its own time and rhythm. We become more present and attuned to the beauty and wonder of each moment, cultivating a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for the gift of life itself. In our quest for genuine happiness, we often fall into the trap of judgment, evaluating experiences as good or bad, success or failure. This dualistic thinking limits our perception, and creates unnecessary suffering. The wisdom of the Tao invites us to transcend these judgments and see the world in its entirety, embracing the full spectrum of human experience. Consider the story of the farmer, whose son's actions were met with varying reactions from his community. When his son's efforts to help the corn grow resulted in its demise, others judged his actions as foolish or destructive. However, the farmer remained steadfast in his understanding that life unfolds in mysterious ways, often defying our narrow definitions of success and failure. The Taoist philosophy teaches us to embrace the principle of Wu Wei, not acting against the grain of nature, but flowing with the natural course of events. When we release our attachment to judgment and accept life as it is, we free ourselves from the burden of expectations and allow space for growth and transformation. Judgment arises from our conditioned beliefs and perceptions, often rooted in cultural norms or personal experiences. We label certain experiences as positive or negative based on these beliefs, overlooking the interconnectedness of all things. However, when we adopt a broader perspective and see beyond our limited viewpoints, we begin to recognize the inherent wisdom in every moment. Imagine standing on a mountaintop where the expansive view allows you to see the landscape in its entirety, the valleys and peaks, the light and shadow. From this vantage point, judgment gives way to appreciation, and you begin to understand that every experience contributes to the richness of life. The Tao Te Ching reminds us the wise person is one who knows, but doesn't speaks, but doesn't know. This paradoxical statement challenges our need to categorize and define, encouraging us to embrace the mystery and complexity of existence. When we let go of our need to judge and control, we create space for our understanding and compassion. Beyond judgment lies a profound sense of interconnectedness, a recognition that we are all part of the same cosmic dance. Just as the potter listens to the clay and the musician allows their music to flow through them, so too can we approach life with openness and humility. When we release our attachment to outcomes and trust in the natural unfolding of events, we align ourselves with the wisdom of the Tao. Think of harmony as the music of existence, a symphony where each note contributes to the whole. Just as a symphony requires different instruments playing in unison, so too does life thrive when we cultivate harmony in our thoughts, emotions, and actions. It is about finding balance between our desires and responsibilities, our ambitions and our need for rest. When we are in harmony with ourselves, we experience a sense of inner peace, an alignment that transcends external circumstances. Imagine a dancer moving gracefully to the rhythm of a song. The dancer does not resist the music, but surrenders to its flow, expressing themselves through movement and gesture. In the same way, when we align ourselves with the natural flow of life, we become like the dancer, fluid, adaptable, and attuned to the subtle nuances of existence. Harmony also extends beyond our individual selves to encompass our relationships with others and the world around us. It is about cultivating compassion, empathy, and understanding in our interactions, recognizing that we are all interconnected and interdependent. Consider the wisdom of the Tao Te Ching, which states that Tao is like water, nourishing all things without trying to. Water flows effortlessly, adapting to the contours of its environment and nourishing life wherever it goes. In the same way, when we embody the qualities of water, flexibility, resilience, and clarity, we create harmonious relationships and contribute to the well-being of the world. Harmony requires us to let go of our egoic attachments and embrace the principle of Wu Wei, the art of effortless action. Instead of striving for control or dominance, we learn to trust in the natural unfolding of events and respond with wisdom and compassion.